Okay, I've done the work on the dashboard as explained in step 8. First thing I did, because most of the colours on the dashboard are gloss black or matte black. Basically what I did is I primed the dashboard and then sprayed it in the Halfords gloss black, because I thought I might as well just keep it all the same. And I've picked out a few of the details. You've got X7 for those dials there, which is red, and you've got X4, which is blue. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up. There's very much sunlight coming through the window. You've got the dials there in the red. There's a few of those little switches in the blue. And then most of the other ones are just silver, so I just plopped a bit of silver paint on the tops. You've got blue there as well. And that was that pretty much done. Then I put the decals on, which is 70 for the speedometer, 64 for a Mitsubishi logo, and 63 for like a little mini TV screen with a picture of a Lancer on it. So there's the speedometer there. I just put that in. Microsol sealed it. Then you got the Mitsubishi Motors decal there, and then you got the little TV screen. Once all that was dried and sealed, I then started work on the steering wheel stroke steering column with the gear change paddles. So those are basically just black for the column there, anthracite for the outer steering wheel itself, and black for the inner arms, which I've done there. And I've picked out that there light with a bit of red. And then there's a little tiny Mitsubishi Motors decal there, which was the same ones that was on the wheel, and that was number 53. So I've just sealed that, and then I've just glued it in. Just inside there, there's a little semicircle hole tab, which is on the back of the column, which goes in. There's the hole there, and then on the back of the column, there's like a little raised circle with a little mounting tab in the back of the steering wheel. And I've just glued them onto there, so I'm just waiting for that to dry. That's the dashboard done. While I'm waiting for the dashboard to dry in step 8, I've started work on step 9, which is the roll cage, the side panels of the doors and the top of the roll cage. So here's the roll cage pieces. I've them still on the sprue. And if you remember, I spray painted the sprue in the primer. I then got my white Halford spray, sprayed that on, let that dry, and then started to paint the foam protection on the roll cage, which is in the 36157 grey. Took 2 coats, so that's all dry now. And there's the other parts of the roll cage with the foam protection, so that's that done. Then you've got the side panels, which are C34 and C35 respectively. So there's my other sprue, which is the C sprue. Again, I'd already spray painted it in the primer, and then spray painted the panels in the white, and then just got my number 21 gloss black, and just painted on the side panels of the doors as it says on the plans there. Took 2 coats of the black, and then just a few touch-ups with the white just to neaten it up a bit, and that's that done. So all this work can now be done mounting this onto the chassis. Right, welcome back. I've now started work on the roll cage. Right, in the top part, the first part of step 9, you've got B30, which is the left side of the roll cage, and you've got B25, which is the right side of the roll cage. Going back to the plans again, on the bottom of each hot arm there, you've got a little pin, and those mounting to a pinhole that's there and there. So you push those down. And then the arm here with the at the back here, or this one which is B30, which is the one with the angle at the back there, there's a little mounting indentation in the back wall, and you push that into place. Then, if you remember that B3 cross arm, there's 2 little pins on the end of those, and that connects into the back of there. So when you maneuver that into place with the 2 pins and that back piece here, you then got to get your tweezers and then lift this up and push it forward to maneuver that into that mounting hole on the number 30 roll cage. So that's number 30 done. With 25 again, with the little pins into the pinholes on the chassis, and you push that into the little, like I said, that little groove on the back wall. And then again with that cross armature with B3, you've then got to maneuver that into place into the back of the B25 roll cage section. Let that dry. Then it's telling me to mount the completed dashboard. Now on the front corner of B25 and B30, you've got this little mounting indentation notch there. And the side of the dashboard actually pushes it, you just push it down from the top, and they just slide into place. So you just run your glue there, and you can run the glue on the top of the armature there to glue into the bottom of the dashboard. Same on B30, again it just slots into place and just put your glue down. So that's the first part of step 9 roll cage. I've got to put this roof on now. Right, welcome back. I've now completed the roll cage, the last bit of the roll cage, which was namely just the roof part and then putting the 2 side panels on. So if you remember from the previous update, the first part of step 9, I put the lower roll cage pieces in, which was B25 and B30 respectively. On the second part of step 9, you've got to put the B22 roof part and the C34 and the C35 panels. As I explained previously, I painted those in the white and the black for the door panels. So with the top part, which is B22, with the arm that comes up from the lower piece of the roll cage, that just clicks into the groove with a pin and a pinhole in that little groove on the top there. Same on this side. Then on the back of B22, you've got like a pin there on the bottom there as it comes down, and that's got to meet that arm sticking backwards both sides on the lower part of the roll cage. So that's where they're connected, there and there. I just had to manoeuvre it on the inside of this corner piece here, but once all that was in and glued, it was dead easy to put in. And then just the front arms of the B22 top half of the roll cage, they connect to the dashboard in the corner of there and there. Just put a drop of glue in on the underneath. Once that was done and dried, I then put the side panels in. Now the side panels, C34 and C35 respectively, on the side of the lower roll cage there's a pinhole there and a pinhole there, and then there's a mounting tab on the inside of C34 and C35. Also, you've got to get that on the inside of the chassis lip there. So put a drop of glue in the pinhole there and put a drop of glue in the pinhole there. Manoeuvred that part to the inside of that bit of the chassis there and just brought it forward and just jiggled it a bit to get to meet the pinhole. And I haven't really glued this, to be honest, apart from the pinholes, because this is still loose. As you can see, that's still loose, and that's still loose. But the roll cage ain't looking too bad at all now it's complete. Right, welcome back. I'm looking at step 10, which is the front bumper work. So here's the front bumper, which is A12. And it's actually, what it's doing is it's telling you on the instructions to fit some mesh on the inside of the front bumper. Using that as a guide, because that's your full side guide, so you cut the bits out. Using that and gluing them to the back of there. Now with the kit, you get this like probably, I don't know, 1/4 mil thick fabric mesh. So I've cut a bit out and I've blue tacked it to the back of the bumper for demonstration purposes. Now looking at this mesh, this is the mesh off the 3 sheets that I bought this time last year, if you remember, when I was building my DS9 Runabout. Going over to the Runabout, if you remember, I hollowed this piece out because this piece was all whole. Hollowed it out because I wanted to like this interior intake. So I got the mesh, cut it to the shape, put it on the inside of that, and it, you know, it looked a hell of a lot better than the kit part itself, all lit up. The reason I'm thinking about using this sheet mesh is because looking on the various websites for rallying, looking at some pictures of the Evo's front grille, it actually looks more like this mesh than it does for the kit supplied mesh. And to be honest, I don't like the way the kit supplied mesh looks. So even though this is probably about 1/2 mil thick, and that one's probably only 1/4 mil thick, I'm just hoping I'm not going to have any fitting issues, because on the Runabout I didn't have any fitting issues whatsoever. So I've cut out my little pieces, as it says on the guide, and I'm going to go with this mesh for now. So when I glue all the pieces of the main body, and then when I mount it to the chassis stroke interior work, hopefully I won't have no fitting issues whatsoever. If I have any fitting issues, I'll have to go back to that cloth mesh. So let's see what happens.